Hey guys, this is Tom Leo signing in. Welcome to a very special video here on the Tom Leo YouTube channel. So as you guys probably already know, we hit 2,000 subscribers here on this channel, which is the biggest sub goal that we have hit in such a long time, and I could not be more excited and happy and thankful for each and every one of you for helping me reach this amazing milestone. And more importantly, for the community that we've created for this channel to be worthy of such a milestone. So thank you guys so much for that. And to further thank you guys, I've got several videos in the works. This one in particular is going to be a Q&A video, which I decided to do this kind of video because I've been doing YouTube content for so long now, but I feel like there are a lot of stuff about me that even the most diehard of leaguers don't know about. So I asked you guys on both YouTube and Discord for questions that you guys might want to ask me about, and now we're going to read them off. So without further ado, let's begin this Q&A. Daniel Perez, Venezuela, asks, what made you choose PG-13 focus for the audience you were shooting for? Particularly, I wanted to go for something more adult-like because I prefer to treat my audience like adults. Even though there are like some kids that tend to come by our channel, I don't think of them as kids. I think of them as adults, which which might not be a good mindset to have, but my main reason for this rating is that I want to treat people the same way that I want to be treated. And even as a kid, like, I was always frustrated that I was never taken seriously. I mean, for obvious reasons, because, you know, when you're a kid, you do things that you don't really notice, or that you think you're mature about, but you're really not. But that's why I wanted to present myself as more of a like to take people more seriously as an adult. But I also don't want to go so far to like keep saying swears all the time. Like, I try to keep my swearing at a minimal. I'll let a few S words slip here and there. But I try my very hardest not to say like any of the big swears or anything that would not be allowed, especially on YouTube. So PG-13 allows me to treat people the way that I would have wanted to be treated. I mean, still want to be treated. To treat them as adults, but also not to go too far adult, if that makes sense. Windows 2000 asks, is there anything you regret about doing YouTube? Not particularly. Like, the big reason I wanted to do YouTube was because I wanted to do something that I actually like to do. And when you do something that you like to do, you don't typically have regrets. Yeah, I tend to have situations where I was like, oh, I regret acting the way that I did, especially when I let my rage get the better of me. Usually it's for good fun, but I always have like this little piece of doubt in my mind where it's like, did I go too far? Like, I really hope I didn't offend anyone because of my anger and such. But I will say, one thing that probably comes close to me having regrets in regards to YouTube, I would say I've had a couple of people, a couple of ex-streamer friends that I've known on this channel, and they changed drastically. Like, I'm not going into any details or anything like that, but there were things about these particular people that I didn't know about, and I feel like, and I had a bit of regret knowing, like, being associated with those people and like not realizing that this was the stuff that they're doing. So that's probably the closest I would say I would come to having regrets when it comes to YouTube. Mr. Coconut asks, initially, what made you create your YouTube channel? I've got another video in the works that goes into better detail about this question, but to summarize, I really liked making videos as a kid. Like, I used to have this really old VHS recording camera, and I made like really bad sketch videos, but I always was fascinated by the process of making videos and movies, and it's something that always stuck with me for a very long time. And when I found out that you could make your own YouTube channel on YouTube and make your own videos, I felt like YouTube was a good outlet for me to explore my my video creativeness and be able to have something to show in case I ever go to like a digital production site and say, hey, this is some of the stuff that I'm capable of doing, and plus doing and making YouTube videos and streaming has grown to be such a fun thing for me to do, and that has not changed even now. Anson and Amazing asks, when and what made you start do the paid membership thing? When? I don't actually remember. I know I made a live stream that said memberships are live, because I was getting to the point where I could do paid memberships at that point. So whenever that stream was released, that's when it happened. As for what, I mean, I want to like be able to do content like this, or like do anything in the video production industry as a full-time job. And memberships were a good way to go about doing it. It's been a little tricky to try and keep the things that I have memberships set up for. I have at least 6 members and ex-members who I owe a free piece of merch on my League of Leos merch store. But everyone's very patient with me, and I am very grateful for that. And I will. And if you guys are ever wondering, it's like, oh, when do I get this particular perk? Don't be afraid to ask me, and I will try my best to make sure that everyone gets what they rightfully deserve. Jabrielle asks, what's your favorite game to stream? It varies from moment to moment, but lately I think the game that I've been enjoying the most is Tears of the Kingdom. If you've been watching this channel for a really long time, you know that my relationship with Zelda games did not start off well. My first Zelda game that I ever played and streamed was Majora's Mask, and I had no idea what I was doing in that game. I got so turned around and like didn't know what to do, and the whole 3-day time limit thing before the moon crashes and everything did not help me at all. So I decided to forego trying to figure it out on my own and use a guide, and I did get pretty far, but there was a point in the game that I just could not beat, and it was the final temple boss. God damn twin mold, you bastard. But yeah, my relationship with Zelda games did not go very well. But one thing led to another, and I started getting interested in Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild came out so long ago, and I never thought that I would play it, but when I did play it, I found myself really enjoying it. I like that they sort of dumbed it down for like new players and made it so that, okay, so if you want to do this mission, this is where you're supposed to go. If you want to do this mission, this is where you're supposed to go. Like, because when you have such a huge freaking map, you're gonna get lost. I mean, I still get lost playing Tears of the Kingdom. I find myself saying, okay, I'm gonna go to that thing. Oh wait, what's that over there? Okay, that's cool. Hey, there's another thing over there. And I never get back to what it is that I'm trying to do originally. And I get that's the whole point of these giant open world games, is to like explore and such. But I'm the kind of person that likes to do things one at a time in a very straightforward type path. But even then, I still enjoy streaming Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I feel like I've gotten really, really good at the game. And more importantly, at the time of recording this video, everything I've accomplished in that game, everything I've acquired, I have not used a guide a single time for it. So I feel pretty proud of myself for that, and now that I'm getting close to the end of the game, I feel very confident that I will be able to finally beat a Zelda game without the need for a guide. And I think that's a huge accomplishment for me in my eyes. So yeah, Tears of the Kingdom at this current moment is my favorite game to stream. Mr. 2DS Pillow has 3 questions. 1. When you were younger, what was your dream job? 2. What advice would you give your past self that you just started streaming? 3. Do you one day hope to be able to do content creation full time? 1. Dream job was definitely something to do in the video production industry. Even if I didn't know it at the time, like I said before, making videos was something that I really, really wanted to do. I really liked doing, and but back then I didn't think it was something that I could turn into a career until I started like really thinking about it when I got older. So yeah, content creation or like doing anything in the video production industry, that's always been my dream job. Some advice to my past self that just started streaming. A very simple one. Do not give up. Because I went through a very vicious cycle for the first 5 years of my own channel of where I would pour my heart and soul into something and everything that I did, and then I wouldn't get any of the growth that I was expecting out of it, which made me feel very discouraged, and then I would quit my channel altogether, only to regain that motivation and do the whole thing all over again. 5 years I got stuck in this huge cycle, and it was very, very rough. But I would tell my past self, A, don't give up, and B, don't push yourself too hard. Because I think that was another problem that I had, is that at that time, I was doing college and a part-time job as well. So I was doing a lot back then. I mean, I'm still doing a lot now, even more so than I was back then. But it was very difficult for me to keep a consistent schedule. But I think the best advice, on top of not giving up, would be just pace yourself. Like, don't ever push yourself too hard to the point of feeling burnt out. Because when you burn yourself out, you lose so much of why you wanted to become a content creator in the first place. And yeah, you might not be able to grow as much as you would want, but that's why I feel like you gotta stay strong and like wait for the right opportunity so that you can go at a consistent schedule. Because as I learned way later in my content career, there is definitely going to be plenty of time left in your life to be able to do all the things that you want to do in your life. So yeah, don't give up and do not pace yourself. Or do pace yourself. I can't talk. Don't give up and pace yourself is probably the advice I would give. And number 3, absolutely I would love to do content creation full time. That is my biggest goal when making these videos. And yeah, it's still my biggest priority in life, actually. RPG Master 84 asks, what made you want to start a YouTube channel, and what keeps you going stream after stream? And also, what's your favorite go-to gamer snack? Sorry, I had 3 questions just in case you needed extra material. What made me start my YouTube channel? Again, it was just something that I really wanted to do ever since I was a kid. Again, I didn't realize it at the time, but there were also like a ton of YouTubers back then that really inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. The biggest one, and like my initial person to inspire me to do YouTube, was an old YouTuber by the name of Shay Carl. It was not necessarily YouTube in particular that inspired me, but just like trying to find it was mostly just trying to find a job that I would like to do so that I could live my life to the fullest. And I started thinking about it, and when I realized making videos was the thing that I liked doing the most, I realized that I could do that sort of thing on YouTube, and I'm continuing to do what I love to do here on YouTube. As for what keeps me going stream after stream, honestly, that's you guys. Like, probably one of the biggest reasons I got stuck in that 5-year cycle was because I wasn't really seeing much of an audience in my channel. Before I got raided by the one and only Vinny of the original 151 channel and was the initial push to jumpstart my channel to where it is today, I was like less than 100 subs, and there was not a huge community from such a thing. So I wasn't really seeing like any feedback, or I wasn't seeing anything like, hey, you're doing really great, I like these videos type deal. It felt like I was presenting my work to no one. So that was probably part of the reason why I felt so discouraged, and I really wanted to. And when I did get raided by Vinny and my community started growing a lot more, I felt more happy that I was able to present something that people really, really wanted to see. And it's such an amazing experience to be able to have such a community like this, to be able to go to whenever I hear about stuff about the world, like all the crap that goes on, and like that just makes me feel like I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Not like that. I don't have suicidal thoughts, but it's just nice to be able to have a community that I can go to that A, likes what I do, and B, treats me the same way that I wanted to be treated from others. What's my favorite go-to gamer snack? I don't think I have one. I do have a favorite go-to gamer drink. As you guys probably know, I drink a lot of these, which is A&W root beer. It is the best. Like, I love A&W root beer so much. Lately though, I've also been drinking some bubbly, because I want to cut back on my sugar intake, because I have such a sweet tooth, like you wouldn't believe. But yeah, I started drinking bubbly in between drink sessions during my streams. While I prefer A&W more, I can understand why people like bubbly to some extent. I think it's one of those acquired tastes that you need to like develop over time, and I'm slowly developing it. The raspberry one I think is my favorite, but I've also tried some other ones like strawberry and such. Also, this is not sponsored by A&W or bubbly. I'm just answering the question to the best of my abilities. Windows 2000 asks, what is your favorite game? Do you have any other systems besides Nintendo systems? And what is your favorite thing about being a YouTube/streamer? Favorite game? I'm assuming like favorite game of all time? For as much as I get, well, I don't get that annoyed that often when I play this game. as far as my all-time favorite game, I honestly would have to say Super Mario Maker. Like, honestly, Super Mario Maker is such an amazing phenomenon in the world of video games. Like, the idea, you would think the idea of creating your own levels wouldn't be such a big hit, but it really turns into something amazing when you get to see, like, the creativity that people put into every level that they make. There are a few stinkers out there that I just cannot stand. There are various types of levels that kind of get me frustrated, but when I'm playing, like, sometimes I'll play a little bit of Mario Maker before I start a stream, just to, like, get a little practice in. And, like, the levels that I play in, like, the hot course section of Super Mario Maker, there's some pretty good ones out there. And I'm not saying the levels that you guys send me are not good. But yeah, like, majority of the time when I play Mario Maker, despite the rage, I do appreciate all the time that gets put into those levels, and how, and the different creativity that comes out of it. That's the biggest selling point for such a game, is how much you put into a level, and whether or not people enjoy it. I don't think that matters in the long run. You created something very, very special, and the people that do like it are probably the ones that are probably those whose opinions truly matter. Not saying you shouldn't listen to some constructive criticism or anything like that, but you know, majority of the time when people hate on a level, it's usually for a unfounded reason. Any other system besides Nintendo systems? Well, I have Steam on my computer. I don't use Steam too often. Well, actually, I use Steam when I do Jackbox games with my Platinum members. So at least once a week I do that. But I also have a PS4 that I haven't touched in, like, so long. I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe selling it along with my games, but I don't know. I just have not found the time to do such a thing. Nor do I plan on ever getting the next gen PlayStation 5. While there's, like, some interesting games on there, like the new God of War game I feel like would definitely be fun to play and be worth buying a PS5 for. At this current moment, I don't see a need to actually get another PS5 system when majority of my content is Nintendo Switch based content, and that works well for our community. But if a PS5 game ever becomes a popular suggestion, then I would probably consider getting another system. Favorite thing about being a YouTuber/streamer? Again, it goes to the community. Like, the community is something that I absolutely love about being a YouTuber and streamer. Like, being the leader of such an amazing and continuously growing that community, and, like, doing our best to try and be like a little piece of the internet that new people might come to and realize, hey, there's still some good left in this world. That's what I really like the most. And I mean, a lot of times I get ragey, and while I do sort of regret it later, I don't think it negates what this community stands for here and now, and that is being supportive and having fun, playing, just simply enjoying the smaller things in life, like chilling and playing video games with your best buds. Anson and Amazing asks, how do you see Mr. Coconut as a person? And 2, do you have any regrets? If so, what would they be? So, Mr. Coconut, for those of you that don't know, is a very prominent person here in the League of Leos. He's been a part of this community for at least a year, if not longer, and he's been a platinum level member for at least a year, and he's one of the people that he's the person who helped make some various things on this channel, like the transition when we go from scene to scene in the streams, like the Batman inspired thing that da da da. And he also made the Raiders, the Welcome Raiders screen, which is probably one of the most goofiest and funniest things ever, but it works so well for this channel. Yeah, he's a good guy. Mr. Coconut, I've known him for a very long time now, and while we do kind of tease and make fun of each other quite a bit, but we try not to take it too far. And if we ever do take it too far, we always tell each other. We try not to take it too far, and when we do, we tell each other that. And we just have this type of relationship where we can go to each other if we need something, even off stream as well. Like, he and I tend to discuss different things, and he's always very active and wanting to help this community out so much, which I am very, very thankful for, to have such a friend. And yeah, I appreciate everything Mr. Coconut has done and will continue to do for this community in the future. And regrets, as I previously said, I don't really have much in terms of regrets, except for like certain people, ex-streamer friends that I've known, or that I used to know, who they were not who I thought they were, and I had to cut them out of my life. And the fact that I was friends with those people, or rather I got duped into being friends with those people, that's the only real regret I'd say I'd have when doing YouTube. Cole Smurf 2349 asks, when did you start streaming? If you mean consistently started streaming, let's look it up actually. So if you mean specifically when I started streaming consecutively, that would be this stream, which I streamed on December 16th in 2018. That was around the time that I think I decided to do more live streaming instead of video content creating. But I did do a few other streams in the past. I used to do these streams called upload parties. In fact, there's only one upload party stream on my channel now, which that one was released on June 10th of 2017. I was playing Dead by Daylight, and it was pretty funny. However, the thing about doing those particular streams is that they were specifically designed so that I wanted people to come by more frequently, because what I would do is I would delete the upload parties whenever I started a new one. So that's probably why this one hadn't been deleted. But yeah, I had done a few upload parties I had done a few streams before called upload parties, and my gimmick with those things back then was to delete them whenever I moved on to the next one, so that back then my idea was to like make people want to come by more frequently. But this was back when I didn't have at least 100 subs, so you can imagine how well that worked out. Though I think I did meet one or two people through these types of upload party, which I think kind of gave me the idea that streaming might help me connect to people a little more. So that's probably one of the reasons why I switched over to streaming from YouTube videos. The Real Camdog19 asks, hey Tom, are you a dog person or a cat person? I'm more of a dog person. I have had 4 different dogs in our family. Our first dog our first dog that we ever had as a family was named Dakota, who I think she may have been in one of my older videos. I think it was an Ultimate Chicken Horse video, so if you want to see her, she's actually the same breed as my current dog, Monty. In fact, we actually got both Monty and Dakota from the same breeder, which real cool coincidence right there. And my second dog that I had, I used to talk about him a lot on my streams. His name was Benji. He was a purebred Shih Tzu that I got from my city's humane society. He was a very special puppy to me, and I really miss him a lot. I still miss him, and I still get a little teary-eyed whenever I think about him. I think he lived a very happy life, and that makes me happy. But we also have Monty now, who is a very energetic puppy. He should be at least a year old, if not 2 years old by now. But yeah, he's a very energetic boy, and he's very affectionate, and he loves coming down. You probably have seen him on streams. He comes down and he likes to come up and give me little kisses on the cheek. It's just so adorable. Martin asks, what inspired you to start YouTube? And who is your favorite Pokemon from each gen? What inspired me to start YouTube? My curiosity for video making, and also several different YouTubers like Shay Carl, the Smosh Bros, back when they were the Smosh Bros, and for a time even the Annoying Orange. I used to watch the Annoying Orange a lot back in the day. I was very consistent with it, but I don't know, like at one point the humor of the Annoying Orange kind of died down for me, so I'm not really as big of an Annoying Orange fan as I used to be. But hey, if you're still watching the Annoying Orange and you like it, I got no problem with that. Favorite Pokemon from each gen though? That's a bit of a tough question. Like, I kind of stopped getting into Pokemon after the 6th generation. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I started the Pokemon generation Gen 4, so I started a little late. And I stopped at around Gen 6. So in terms of like later generations, I'm not sure I'll be able to answer that, or even some of the previous generations. Gen 3, I definitely like Salamence. And Gen 4, Garchomp. Like, Garchomp is the best. Like, yeah, he's on my banner. Obviously, I'm gonna say Garchomp is my favorite from the 4th gen. But yeah, as far as like other gens are concerned, I honestly can't answer that off the top of my head, so I'd have to think about that. Piplup Gamer asks, "What's your favorite Pokemon of all time?" Come on, do I really need to answer that? Obviously, it's this one. What? No, not that one. This one. No, seriously? This one. No. This one. Stop it. This one. There we go. This one. This one's my favorite. Top Secret Yoshi. Actually, it just says T ... here, but that's Top Secret Yoshi. In your opinion, what makes good or bad game design? My general rule of thumb when it comes to like any type of game is a good mixture of fun and challenge. Because I like a good challenge every now and then. I like feeling like beating a game gives me an accomplishment for beating it. But in terms of like the exact specifics on making that happen in terms of game design, well, that's really up to what type of game you're making, in all honesty. And that can be very hard to quantify. But I do feel like there are some obvious things you can avoid. If there's a situation that like the majority of people would never ever figure out, because of how super complex you've made it. And that's like a key area that you need to beat in order to progress in the game. That is not good gameplay design. Mr. Coconut asks, what are your future plans for the channel? Like, where do you want to see yourself in 10 years? Oh, that's easy. I want to be in a situation where I can do this, where I can do content creating full time, while also doing another type of video production as another full-time job as well. Like working for a digital media company, making and editing videos for them, while also still be able to do streaming and creating content with all of you guys, because what I do here on YouTube is like the one big thing I look forward to every single day. And that is not going to change even 10 years from now. And if I can turn that into a full-time job, that would be amazing. But I also feel like with everything that I've learned as a person and an individual, having another job for income is also very important as well, so I can keep doing what I do here on YouTube. But I would like to eventually have that other job be related to digital media, so that I can keep practicing doing the thing that I like to do, because while I feel like I'm a pretty good editor and like cinematographer and anything in between, like I'm pretty good at just about anything related to video production. I feel like I'm not at like the best I could possibly be. And if I could have that opportunity to like get into a digital media company, it's just like, you can do this and it'll make your video 20 times better. That I feel like is good life skills. Is a good opportunity for me to have, so that I can get better and that I can carry that knowledge over to YouTube and make these streams even better. Last question from Spencer. 1. If you were on Pokemon, what 6 Pokemon would you have? 2. What's your favorite food? 3. What's your favorite Disney movie? And 4. What made you decide to stream? Okay, so I'm assuming you mean if I were in Pokemon, not on Pokemon. What 6 Pokemon would I have? Depends on the region, to be honest. I would say it depends on the region. Like, if I'm in a specific region, then I'm picking a very specific set of Pokemon. In fact, during my Brilliant Diamond, Legends Arceus, and my Violet playthroughs, all the main Pokemon that I've had in those specific games, if I was in those specific settings, those were the ones that I would pick, because they fit my battling style so well. As far as like all the other regions, I haven't really delved too much into what Pokemon are in those regions and what Pokemon I would pick there, so I'm not 100% sure. And if I was unlimited to what Pokemon I could use, that's a little hard to quantify as well, because I'd have to do a lot of extensive research to see which Pokemon would fit my battling style. I actually have a list of Pokemon that I would want from any given game, and what moves and abilities and what nature I would want in order to get the perfect Pokemon that I want for my team. Which again is a little hard to explain, but yeah, generally speaking, any Pokemon that fits my battling style. And if you guys have seen my Pokemon Let's Play streams, I think you can kind of get a sense of what it is my battling style is. What's your favorite food? Pizza! What's your favorite Disney movie? I guess off the top of my head, I would have to say Aladdin, because I watched that movie on VHS so many times. Honestly, I feel like I can reenact every single scene from Aladdin word for word because I watched that movie so many times. I think Frozen is also a close second. Like, I know that probably sounds like a cringy answer, but honestly, if you look at the movie objectively, it's a good movie, and I don't think it deserves any of like the hate that some people have, for whatever reason, put on the show. I haven't seen Frozen 2 though. I've been missing out on like a lot of movies, but yeah. Aladdin is probably my favorite, with Frozen being a close second. What made you decide to stream? Again, that was because I wanted to be able to do the thing that I always love to do, which is making videos. Also, I wanted to create a place where people can go to get away from all the crap of the world, and to just similar to like how I felt whenever I watched a Shay Carl or a Smosh video, to like be able to laugh even though the world has slowly gone down the crapper. Like just being able to have that place, especially nowadays when it feels like those places are very few and far between, to have such a community, and to be the leader of such a community that people can go to feel better and to get away from the world and to feel like they're welcomed is something that I cherish more than anything else, and the biggest reason why I wanted to stream on YouTube. But yeah, that is all of the questions. Holy crap, I did not think this was going to go on for that long. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on this very special video. And like I said, I've got a bunch of other videos in the works to continue the celebration of our 2K sub milestone. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Again, thank you so much for helping me reach this amazing milestone, and for creating this community that never fails to put a smile on my face no matter what the situation is. So big thank you to all of you. This milestone is our accomplishment because you guys deserve a lot of the credit as well. And don't you ever forget that. That's gonna do it for this special video. Let me know in the comments below what other types of videos you would like me to do. But until then, I am Tom Leo. You've been amazingly fantabulous people, and I am signing off. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you in the next stream.